Well, monsoons are around the corner, and as we know, during the monsoons, the stocks, the companies which come to fore are usually the seed companies, the agriculture sector, because the rains are expected the most in this country by agriculture sector, farm sector, farmers, and one sector which actually serves and fulfills the needs of the farmers is the seed sector. Today, we are going to bring you a conversation with one of the premier seed companies in this country, Kaveri Seeds, and to understand how the entire sector is looking, how the company is doing, how the fourth quarter was for the company. Let me now welcome Mr. Mithun Chand, Executive Director of Kaveri Seeds. Mithun sir, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
So, sir, help us understand how it has been the Ravi season for you, and also was the sort of observation from the perspective of growth or demand varying because of any external monsoon reasons or weather reasons, or you were largely seeing a sort of uniform demand?
Overall, if you say for the entire year, even though the market remained stable, we have grown by 10% in terms of the revenue and 25, close to 24% in terms of the margins, in terms of the profitability. Overall, the season was okay. Going forward, we see the conditions to be stable. There are slight here and there 5% average increase in cotton, close to 5%, and we see a very good maize crop going forward. Other crops look stable, and vegetable is a crop which is growing again. So, being a multi-product company, product portfolio, we were able to um, have the growth and in terms of margins as well.
Sure, sir. I was looking at the numbers, and the numbers were actually telling us that maize was something which was really showing a very solid growth, very strong growth, more than 20% growth versus the last year, if I compare YOY. And if I look at the rice, around 4% growth. What was the reason for this strong growth in maize? Was this primarily because of millet mission from the government, or was there any other reason, higher adoption by the farmers? Like, what was the underlying reason?
Maize is a very good crop and a very interesting crop going forward. Earlier, maize was only considered as a fodder in India, but nowadays it is consumed as fodder and industrial usage. And with the new initiatives of the government, like going into ethanol plants and other industrial usage has also gone up for maize. We see that maize crop will go in the future. And the other part is that we have new hybrids which got released in the market in the last 2 or 3 years that has gained the majority of the market share this year. Going forward, these products will be performing well, and we have very good pipeline. Both in combination of these two, we see a very good growth in short term, that is 3 to 5 years in maize. Whereas in rice is a very stable crop. Year on year, the acreage, I mean to say, the hybridization is also going up. Last year was flat. We see a slightly 2 to 3% growth this year, but in our product portfolio, we have good uh, products which can grow much better than the industry that is already visible in the previous year's growth. So we think that the growth will uh, be there for next 3 to 5 years now, the crop where we are already. In terms of the millet mission, Bajra crop is going up. Even that in our company, we are going up by more than 40% in terms of the Bajra, but with a small base. But from here also, we have a very good growth in Bajra. So with all this combination, it is we think that 10 to 12% revenue growth for the coming year and 15 to 20% as bottom line growth. That should help. That should be our projections for next year.
So, could you please repeat the growth in the bottom line, which you were just alluding to?
The revenue growth will be 10 to 12% as a whole, and the bottom line should be in between 15 to 20%. We further
Right.
think that the realizations were low this year. We have a scope to increase the realization for the next year.
Okay, so which also implies that margins are going to go up primarily because the price is going to support and there could be some volume growth. Uh, from that perspective, the pricing growth, what do you see the primary reasons? Is the market really looking strong, or you're looking at as a sort of factor where it's more a sort of because it can't be just a cost push because the margins are increasing. Is it more because there is good sort of adoption which is happening, or the scale is growing, the volumes are growing, and that's why the margins are going to go up?
As I said earlier, last year we have introduced, I mean to say the majority of the growth came from the new products, wherein we have a very high realization. Those are the products which are going to grow next year. So in that way, we will be increasing our margins. That's one point. And the other thing is that cost is a normal increase of cost is a normal phenomenon in the industry, but it's a combination of both volume and price. Both will be there. It's just not price; it will be volume as well. But if you see this year, the realizations in cotton were lower than the previous year. So going forward, we think that the realizations will be higher in cotton also. It was a very tough year in terms of realizing the values. So that's the
Right.
reason we say that good scope to increase the margins for the coming years.
Sure. In a minute, I'll come to cotton, but before that, I wanted to actually ask one more question. Your hybrid products actually have been doing well. Could you just help us understand what has been the difference in the yield of the hybrid seeds versus the normal seeds, like for example, hybrid rice seeds, or if in maize also again that sort of innovation has been done. So, what has been the difference in yield for the farmers versus the previous seeds?
Usually, the seed when we compete with when we compare with the hybrid variety in the initial stages, it will be at least 10 to 15% of the uh, yield growth. Apart from that, they have many other value additions like the crop pest resistant or a drought tolerant or a stress tolerant hybrids. But most of the cases, in for example, if you compare with maize, the competition is between hybrid to hybrid, not with varietal to hybrid, because majority of the area is under hybrids. In that way, anything about 5 to 10% yield advantage, and the other advantages will help to adapt to the new hybrids.
Right, sir. And let's come to the cotton now. How the growth actually was almost 20% plus. If I look at the cotton in the fourth quarter versus the last year fourth quarter, what has been the driving factor, and was it more about the market share gains, or it was primarily a sort of bumper demand from the market?
So fourth quarter is a very lean quarter. We should not compare fourth quarter numbers with as such because fourth quarter hardly contributes 5% of the total revenue. And if the right comparison is to compare a year on a year basis because most of the crops are
That's almost flat. Why it's almost flat if FY 23 versus 22?
yeah, we have grown 7% in volume, but only 1% in terms of revenue. That's what I said that this year was a very tough year in terms of the realization. That's the reason we couldn't realize there. But we have a very good scope for next year to realize more from those products, and even the MRP is also up by 5% compared to previous year.
So that would be a fair assumption because cotton contributes a large amount of revenue for you. So would be a fair assumption that this segment is actually is going to sort of contribute good sort of margin increase also and also revenue increase.
Definitely, cotton contributes close to 35% of our revenue. That's a major chunk, which is a major crop, but that is also going to contribute. Not only cotton, non-cotton crops are more profitable than cotton. Even those are growing at those pace. So in both the segments, we see a good growth and a good scope for increase in the realizations.
Right. So overall, early days, we are still in May and seeing a sort of good summer. But overall, what has been your observation so far in for the June quarter as we sort of move towards the Kharif season? How is it looking to you? What's your own expectation from the Kharif season?
June quarter is a major quarter for us. More than 70% of the revenue comes in the first quarter, and most of the seed is already sent to the market or placed in different in the channel. In the morning, we saw news saying that the monsoon is on track. So as of now, we are in line with the anticipation. If the normal monsoon, if we expect the arrival of the normal monsoon, then definitely we are in line with our estimates.
So does that imply you're expecting a sort of a similar growth as you're expecting for FY 24, like June quarter presents a similar good 10 to 12% revenue growth and a 15 to 20% profit growth? I'm not saying for the June quarter, but the first half. Let's say the first half. Is that also?
Definitely, first half is a major half. If you want to go, you need to go in the first half.
And what should we expect from Kaveri Seeds in terms of any new product or any new sort of major diversification if you're planning to?
The introduction of the new products is a continuous activity, and every year we introduce new products that will contribute after 2 or 3 years. When we say new product which is contributing, which is of the last 3 years, which we got introduced in the market. So though we have very good products which are already there in the market, and very good pipeline hybrids which are yet to be released in the market. By seeing these, is a confidence for us that 10 to 15% growth for the next 4 to 5 years looks very obvious for us.
Right, sir. And also for our viewers, the company actually has ended FY23 with a good 9% growth in the sales. The margins again basically have expanded already, and we are already hearing from the management that price increase driven expansion margins that for us implies FY24 could be better than FY20 itself, which anyways was better than FY22. So sounds good for our viewers. One curious question, sir, and I think everybody would like to know. The cash on books is a very, very healthy number, indicates strength, almost 500 crores plus cash. As I'm just looking at your presentation, what is the sort of plan for usage of the cash? Is it largely for treasury purpose, or there are some plans for the using of cash?
So if you see, we are a dividend paying company. Every year we give dividend, and apart from that, we have done 5 consecutive buybacks in the last 6 years. So whatever cash we generate, apart from our own consumption, excess cash we intend to reward it to the shareholders. So I think that will continue. If we get any new technology or any company to acquire in terms of R&D or in terms of inorganic growth, we are open for it. But if we don't find an opportunity, we want to reward it back to the shareholders.
Right. So which implies that our viewers should again basically expect a share buyback this year.
Yeah, we will. Again, subject to board decision, but we are not still in that process.
As we move towards the end of this conversation, I wanted to ask you one question regarding geographic strength. Perhaps just for telling our viewers, which geographies are your primary strength?
So we are the only company who has got a pan-India presence and present in most of the crops. Many companies have a good presence in cotton or a non-cotton segment. As in India, we are the only company who have got strong presence in both cotton and non-cotton segments. We are present in more than 25 states across India, and we deal with more than 40,000 retailers directly or indirectly across India. So we have got one of the strongest network when compared to any other company. Not only the strongest network, but we have got one of the world-class infrastructure. It might be one of the top in Asia in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the capacity. And we are the only company who produce in more than 1 lakh acres across India. So in all the segments, we are top in terms of the network, in terms of the production, and in terms of the facilities. So that is one of our major strengths.
What would be the blended capacity utilization of your production facility right now?
So we can't compare the capacity utilization with other manufacturing companies because it's highly seasonal business. Most of that need to be done in the next, I'm going to say in the season, like 45 to 60 days. If you see as an independent capacity, we have a processing capacity of more than 155 metric tons per hour. So that's the way we calculate, because entire year we don't work. We are a very seasonal company. As we get 70% of the revenues in the first half, so majority of the work will be done in the fourth quarter of the year. Yeah.
Okay, sir, noted. Looks like a promising start to the FY24 is in the offering for you, and we'll like to extend all the best wishes to you. And also we'll like to engage with you post results in July, again to sort of take a gauge how the study season start has been for you.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, it's a wrap on this show. Hope you enjoyed our conversation with the Premier Seed Company of India. Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.